Hello and welcome to DCP SideQuest, episode number 146, I think. Yeah, it's 146. Howdy do,
Howdy
neighbors.
do. Howdy do.
It's hot out there. A lot of heat wave stuff going on, right?
It is, yeah. Luckily, we have Eric's to give us all the news of the heat wave
Yeah,
that's happening in England.
Yes.
Queen Eric's is
Queen Eric.
Well, it's very hot here.
the heat is
It's 100 degrees in England. That's weird. Stop it.
Celsius, which
Yeah.
doesn't sound hot until you're in it.
Yeah, so that doesn't happen very often. Hitting 100?
No.
Really? Wow.
The summers used to be like 80 tops.
Oh, really?
Whoa. Wow, that is a big difference. For me, 100 sounds like typical Sacramento because it's like yesterday it was 107. Today it's 102. It's going to be 100 for the next week.
Nope.
It doesn't hit 100 in Connecticut too often, but when it does, everybody goes right inside.
Yeah.
It's
probably more. It's probably more humid around there, though, right?
We don't get that much humidity.
No. Oh.
It can be humid sometimes during the summer. It's like it hasn't rained here in a month, so there's been like no humidity.
Nice.
We just got rain today for the first day.
We got rain
like
today too.
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
Well, high five on rain. My grass looks like shit. I didn't realize until about a week ago that my neighbor had sprinklers. He has irrigation built in. He just hasn't had to use it since he moved in.
Oh.
So my grass is looking all brown. His grass is lush and green. Fucker.
We have gone through quite the journey with sprinklers and sprinkler systems, and like clearly the best way is to have someone put it in the grass, like properly just set it up in the grass.
Oh, underground.
Right.
Yeah.
But I can't afford that. So we just like buying sprinklers and sprinkler systems and trying to hit all the parts of the grass. It's impossible.
Moving them around,
moving them around.
You set timers. Yeah. That's what I do too. Watts. It sucks.
Annoying. It's impossible.
When I'm trying to grow new grass, it's literally like a full-time job.
Growing grass? It is. Yeah. Here in California, it is a full-time job.
You got to get out there and start sprinkling, and then you move the sprinklers after like a certain amount of time, and like let's say you have 3 areas to sprinkle, and you got to move the sprinklers if you don't have like built-in irrigation.
Mm-hmm.
By the time you're done, you got to go back and start over again. Because you're supposed to do it 3 times a day with new grass.
Here in California, you have like Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday to water. That's it.
Yeah.
Don't you dare turn around afterwards.
Put down AstroTurf.
Yeah, there's one of our neighbors. I was walking past. I was like, "That's AstroTurf."
Yeah, man.
Some of them have just ripped the grass up, and they're like gravel, stones, rocks, and plants.
Get the low maintenance yard. Low maintenance is great.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. It's also eco-friendly.
People gave up.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
This is a home improvement podcast now. What else are we working on?
I mean, I think the important question is, Briar, is that the neighbor that you are currently at war with?
Yeah, your warring neighbor. Yeah,
that is correct. I am currently at war with him. The former mayor. I'll have you know.
The former mayor.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm actually going to a town hall meeting tomorrow, not because of the yard, but and I was talking to him about a couple of the issues in town, and he mentioned to me that he's got a current feud going on with one of the town council members. So I figure that I'll saddle up to this town council member, and maybe we can join forces, like a common enemy kind
combined
of thing.
Feud. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are they feuding over? Trash can placement?
I feel like it's a little like revealing to say. So I'm not gonna say.
Sex scandals.
Yeah, it's a sex scandal.
It's clearly sex stuff.
There was a dungeon. Sex stuff was going on there.
You didn't let me in the dungeon Friday night. That's my turn. You didn't let me in.
Briar's pissed about it. Now we got a feud.
Briar's pissed.
Yep. I feel like you're crafting the dispute or something. Like when you combine 2 disputes, you like crafting a new element of dispute in the world, like a game thing. Yeah.
I want to cause as much chaos as possible.
Yeah.
In my neighborhood filled with 70 to 80-year-old people. We are by far the youngest people in our neighborhood by, I think, 30 years. Oh, yeah. I should mention that my mortal enemy is also 75 years old.
Grandpa.
That's great.
And runs an ice cream shop.
Oh. Wow, he's living the life.
You know he's a real bastard.
Just serving ice cream. My God. That's got to be nice.
Also, he doesn't know anything about this.
About your feud? You're just like really cordial with him every time you see him?
Yes, he's actually a really nice guy. I motherfuck him behind his back. Only.
Oh, man. That's great. How's the Steam Deck been this past week for you, Briar? Any updates?
Pretty great. I've been playing actually a lot of games. One of the games that I've been playing, I think Watts, you turned me on to, was Loopmancer.
Oh,
Have you been playing that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not great on the Steam Deck. I think the problem is the UI is just a little too small to really see what's going on. I do really like the game on a TV, but on the Steam Deck, it's not been good. It's a little too small. Like there's the enemies like turn different colors. And to denote like if you should attack them or what they're about to do. Also, there's like moments where it says like push this button to do this action, and you're like,
You're like, what?
I can't see which button that is because it's like 3 pixels big on a 720p screen. You know?
Yeah.
The game is really fun and really fluid and like looks really nice. When it loads between levels, it makes the Steam Deck sound like a Harrier jet.
Wow.
I don't know what's going on there, but
Listen, getting into your high-rise building, stroking your cat, and getting in your car is very, very
It's
taxing.
intense.
yes.
Yes.
But on PC, I've been playing it as well. And I think it's very good on PC. I haven't really gotten into like the end game yet. They just released a patch to make story mode a little bit easier, from what I understand. But most of my play has been on Steam Deck, just trying to like power through because I just want to be playing on the Steam Deck right now. It's a new device. I want to be playing on that.
Yeah.
So most of my time's been on Steam Deck, but it looks cool on PC for sure.
Nice. That's cool. You also released a accessories video about the Steam Deck recently, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Some of the weird stuff that I found, like that Milwaukee, what was that thing called? I can't remember.
The charging deck thing for your
Yeah.
drill.
It's like a charger. It's like an inverter for Milwaukee. I talked about it on the last podcast.
Yeah. No, that's great.
But that's what I use to charge the Steam Deck when I'm not, because my charger is here, like at this desk. But it's inconvenient to like move that charger around. If I want to go play on the couch or if I want to play on the back deck, or it's a pain in the ass to like gotta crawl into the desk to unplug it. So I just bring that thing with me because I can't really play Steam Deck without having some kind of power source. You know, like for very limited amounts of time, you can play Steam Deck without having to plug it into something.
I find myself getting up on the hour. Like when an hour's passed, I'm like, it's time to get up, and I usually have like about half a battery or so after an hour.
The way to force you to move.
Yeah. I check the battery and I'm like, it's getting a little bit lower. I should probably get up and plug it in and do some other stuff. So
yeah, that's probably a good idea. Usually I'm playing it at nighttime when I'm watching TV, and the time just kind of flies at that point.
I've been looking at the power stuff and the hubs, and there's a lot of apparently some hubs are making the device not charge after you plug it in.
That's correct. Yeah, some of them will actually brick the Steam Deck as well.
Yeah, that's a big yikes. So that immediately halted all my research. I was like, I don't want to chance this because I don't want to brick my device. Because I do want to dig more into like the Linux OS and install stuff, and like I was looking at music applications on there and like just put a recording software setup on the Steam Deck and plug it into all my gear and just be like, this is working crazy, right?
I want to one of us is doing a podcast from the Steam Deck.
Live from the Steam Deck OS. Hey. But the hub thing scared me. So I know some of them work, and like you had the ones Cable Creations, right? You said on the video.
Yes, I believe so. I believe that's the name of it.
Yeah, and you haven't had any. Obviously, your Steam Deck hasn't been bricked, right?
No, it's been flawless actually. The HDMI works, the networking port works. I did do research into it before I bought it and made sure that it was working for other people.
Yeah.
and that's why I chose the one I chose. It was, I forgot the price, around $40 or $50, I believe. Wasn't like the most expensive one, but it wasn't the cheapest.
Sure. But it doesn't.
Yeah, it seems fine.
Yeah, it seems like you don't want to go cheap on this. Like you don't want to just randomly get a USB hub. Although they might fix this in an update soon because it could be software related, right?
It could be. It could also be that when you buy cheap electronics that aren't supplying the power that the Steam Deck is accepting, it may be a situation where it works at first, but over time it does gradual harm.
Yeah. Well, I saw that some better brands were bricking it also. People were having
Anchor,
issues.
right? Anchor is a pretty well-known brand, and people are having a lot of trouble with the Anchor ones. The Steam Deck is putting out their own dock, so like you can just wait, until that comes out. It's gonna have networking. It's gonna have HDMI out, and it's gonna have some USB ports. But I figured, I could just use this for on a PC once the Steam Deck dock comes out.
Steam Dock.
Steam Deck dock. Yeah, it's really cool though. Jump into the OS and having it like just be like a full computer. It's kind of surprising.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just received on Prime Day. I got a 512 gigabyte SD card. I think for like $50, which I was blown away how cheap that is.
The Samsung one.
I think the last time I bought one of those, it was well over 100.
Yeah,
but that was a few years ago now. So I'm gonna try and load Windows on there as well as some emulators, so I can play classic games.
I'm looking forward to hearing about that and how much of a pain in the ass it is.
I'm hoping it's not that big a pain in the ass. I'm hoping it's something that anybody could do because it'd be really nice to get Xbox Game Pass working on this thing. And
so there's been several people who've messaged me saying that you can actually get that going on the Steam OS.
Yes, I've heard that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I haven't looked further into it, so I'm sorry to be ignorant about it. But apparently some people have been getting that work on the Linux OS. So if you don't have to install Windows to make that work, that would be incredible.
For me, though, personally, one of my goals is to get Destiny running on this thing. And Destiny, or Bungie, has specifically said that we will be banning people who are trying to get this, get it running. What I assume is they're talking about Steam OS. So if I think that if I run it under Windows, it should be no problem because all their security stuff, as long as all their security stuff runs,
right.
This thing is just a PC. If it's running Windows, it should be fine.
Yeah.
But running under Steam OS, none of their security stuff works, which means, big trouble.
Yeah.
I don't want to get sued.
Well, but if you stream it from a different computer or something, or like a streaming service, then it's bypassing the Steam OS side of things, right?
Yeah.
Security problems.
That's not optimal.
Yeah, for sure.
It, like locally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of being sued.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's getting sued?
Yeah. Who's suing you? Is it because you keep threatening them with eating them?
No, no one would sue me for that.
Breyer's getting sued by his mayor, ex-mayor.
Yeah, Bry's getting taken to court.
Yeah, he's been listening the entire time. He knows.
Slander.
He's like this.
Your lawn sucks. It's a public nuisance.
Listen here, Sonny. The jig is up. I'm taking you to court.
Bungie is suing another person.
All right.
This time,
what
it's a person who they were cheating. I don't think they were using it in PvP, but they were banned, and then they made like 13 accounts trying to come back and do the same thing. But the thing that I think tipped them over was the harassment and threats that this person was doing.
Can't do that. That's bad.
Those involve that I'm going to go burn down the Bungie dev studios, telling certain people who work at the studio that they're moving into their neighborhood and they should be afraid when they do. Nice things. So this person being sued for quite a lot of money. I think it ends up being about 1.7 million.
All right. Get them.
Yeah, and this has been really interesting because it's kind of sparked a lot of conversation from people in the game industry in general. I'm seeing a lot of people talking about harassment of developers. There was a thread about how this isn't going to just affect the way that Bungie may or may not communicate with the community. But other developers are also taking note, and it will affect how they communicate with the community.
Yeah.
And there's been threads and threads of like what it's like working in community management, how these things shouldn't be accepted. So I'm kind of hoping that this will end up being a thing that more companies do and are kind of like, you can't harass and say you're gonna kill our developers. Like you can't do that. That's not
That's not
acceptable.
cool, man.
It's not acceptable.
Yeah.
Also, it's illegal. So fuck you.
Exactly.
You're getting sued.
Yeah. Also, in an age of mass shootings, like you can't just lightly make threats and expect people to be like,
Yeah.
Like,
we
it's
live
just
in a
kids being
violent
kids.
world. Kids being kids is violence.
yeah, kids being kids,
Yeah.
unfortunately, is terrible at this point. So they have to they have to take things seriously. Like, yeah, it's a weird precedent that's been set in the gaming industry.
It is weird. It's grow a backbone, get thick skin, and it's like, or we could just not threaten people's lives.
Yeah, or be a good person.
Yeah.
Don't be an asshole. Don't be someone
You
who
can even like there's people who will curse them out and go like, you guys are dumb. Like that's one thing, but saying that you're going to kill someone or set their studio on fire or to be careful because I live in your neighborhood now are
threats, essentially.
whole other step.
Threats are illegal.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird, but like it's almost like an unchecked self-awareness of like the COD days, the early Halo, early COD days, and anything goes in the lobby, and therefore if anything goes, then that's how it should be from that point on. Like a precedent was set, and it's almost like that went unchecked.
Oh, it was super toxic back then, though, too.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Like,
Like that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is those were the seeds to say it should be okay today to say whatever whatever god awful thing you want to say about games, because that's how it was back then or something. I don't know. It's weird. It's like the games industry needs to grow up, because it's much larger than it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It is much larger. Yeah.
More mainstream.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I think it's good that
conversation.
Yeah, I think it's good that Bungie's taken serious legal action to be like, hey, if you're going to make threats, you're going to get legal consequences.
And there was a lawyer who was kind of in the comments talking about stuff, and they were saying that most likely, and I totally believe this is the thing because I've seen it happen before, Bungie lawyers sent a letter to this person saying, please stop harassing our developers. If you don't, we'll have to pursue this further. And they probably did not stop, so they pursued it further.
Oh, fuck.
Because that's generally what they'll do. Like these companies, well, if they care about their
yeah.
employees, they will send out a legal letter from their legal team to try and get them to back off.
Yeah, it sets a
Hey,
precedent.
dummy, we know who you are. If you keep doing this, we're going to fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah, we have your address. We sent the letter there.
Yeah, and then if you're really stupid, you go, oh, it's working. Let's keep doing it, bro.
Yeah, really under their skin now. Let's dig in.
We got him by the lawyers now, dude.
Oops. Oh, I've just made a life-changing bad decision. I'll regret this for the rest of my life as I continue to pay it off.
I hope they do.
Yeah, that's crazy.
What's sad to me is that it's often like kids that are doing this, right? Young guys.
His age keeps changing. It's like 19 or 23. No one knows.
Yeah, I mean that's kid to me. As you get older, the definition kids gets older as well. Like I'd like to live in a world where kids can make mistakes and like get through it, but when you are threatening people's lives, in today's kind of climate, like you can't let that slide. You have to do something. You have to do something strong that will set an example to cut it off, because people are getting shot like all the fucking time. Like it is constant. Like every weekend you're watching on the news, oh, there was a mass shooting here, there was a mass shooting there. Like you can't make empty threats like that. It's taken seriously now. You have to understand that. You really do.
Yeah, especially in the age of, doxing, swatting. It's all super common. Super common now.
Yeah.
There's no reason not to believe someone when they say they're going to do something.
Yeah. And Bungie just got $3.4 billion So you know they got the money for the lawyers.
They got that lawyer cash. Where's Johnny Cochran? Let's get him on the phone.
Johnny Cochran, oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So obviously giving feedback about video games is fantastic. It's super helpful to let developers know how you are feeling and interacting with their content. But you don't need to tell them you're going to kill them. You don't need to do that.
No.
Not good.
Also, like most of these people are really cool people, right? Is they have the same passion that you do, except it's like to the extreme where they actually want to create this stuff, right? It's like that's way more hardcore than just wanting to play it. So why would you want to piss those people off? Why wouldn't you want to encourage that activity and like be friends with these people as opposed to be their adversaries and be their enemies and discourage this activity, right? I don't even understand the logic of it.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll tell you the truth too. By the time you're my age, the regrets you have in life are not going to be, I wish I never sold that car. I wish I never, dated that girl. It's going to be how you treated people and how you conducted yourself in relationships. Those are the regrets you have in life. And these are the kinds of activities that you really regret later on. When people bring this kind of shit up, there's no coming back. There's no reasoning for it. It sucks. It's just shitty.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, hopefully it changes. Hopefully the industry starts shifting away from toxic adolescence, essentially.
Yeah, it's been interesting. There's definitely been a shift in recent years of being less accepting of people doing that to other players, because before it was just like, whatever, do whatever, we don't really care. So there's definitely been a shift of people expecting others to be more considerate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I hope it continues.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like as a culture, we have been growing and like kind of becoming more accepted. I don't know. Maybe not. Who knows?
I think people have definitely got more sympathetic. Like when I've looked at posts talking about this kind of stuff, back in the day, absolutely 100%, it would have just been 90% of the comments would have been like, haha, your butt hurt, blah, 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 blah. But it shifted to people being more understanding, opening their mind that maybe this isn't the way that we want to treat people, that treat they're human beings on the other side. It's not just a robot.
Yeah. Well, also with everything, or with a large amount of workforce shifting towards remote, I think that the desire to have empathy through text and a screen is higher now than it has been in the past, because there's less face-to-face interactions with people at work than there were in the past. And so it kind of raises that awareness of like, hey, you don't want to just be like a dry asshole online. Like
don't want to be.
Sorry to paint a picture.
Wet. Get your asshole wet.
Sorry to paint a picture there for you, Briar.
Yeah, leave that up, man. Nobody wants to be a dry asshole. That's
no one wants it to anybody. Be dry. Nope.
Oh man. Yeah. I guess on the flip side of the equation the argument is, how do you give feedback, right? And how do you give constructive criticism and all that? And obviously the answer is like, be nice about it. Clearly treat people like people when you want to have a discussion about the game. But like, I guess that's where a lot of the contradiction comes into place.
Just say what you're not liking and why you're not liking it. That's it. That's all you gotta do. I don't like this thing because of this reason. That's it. It's very simple. You don't even need to come up with a way to fix it, because most likely, like, what you're going to say, you're not taking into consideration the production costs and people costs and how much money's on the table for this feature that you want them to make.
Yeah.
So just say, this is why I don't like it.
Someone on Twitter was talking about how like you need to approach it as if you're going to a doctor and saying your pain. Like, this is the problems that I'm experiencing. And the doctor would be like, well, let's figure out how we can fix
lasers, bitch. Let's
go. Don't go there. You don't go there and say, hi, I need this drug.
Yeah.
And the doctor,
unless you watch TV in which they tell you, don't you have this thing going on? You definitely need this drug that we just came up with and we're now selling for an absorbent amount of money because your insurance probably won't cover it, because you got to ask your doctor about it. You've never heard of restless leg syndrome. You've never noticed it before. But hey, sometimes when you're asleep, do you notice that your legs kind of twitch? Oh, you're going to need this drug.
It's a laser mouth.
Laser mouth.
Lazy mouth. Yeah.
Well, there's some game stuff. Right?
Yeah. Tomorrow there's a happy
kitty game.
Happy kitty game.
Is it a happy kitty game? Is it happy?
Well, so I was watching Skill Up's review. We're talking about Stray. Stray is coming out tomorrow. It's going to be on PlayStation. It's going to be on PC. I've looked at some reviews. I've read some. I watched Skill Up's review, and he describes it as post cyberpunk, which I thought was perfect because it's not post-apocalyptic. It's not during cyberpunk, because cyberpunk is this thing of like, we've gotten to this point of capitalism so much that like the whole world is that, and eventually it's going to collapse and things are going to be really bad. It's post that. So it's like a feeling of hope in the world where they're kind of building things back up post cyberpunk collapse. But it's not at the point where the world's gone to complete crap and it's an apocalypse. So it's kind of post cyberpunk. I was like, I like that. That's nice.
The era of cyberpunk is in the past.
Yeah. Well,
interesting.
Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
What do you do in this game?
So you
lick stuff.
you
Groom your coat.
scratch things, push things off the end, all the good stuff.
Cat stuff.
Take naps.
Roll around.
The game, there's a lot of like, there's puzzles, there's ways that you have to jump up. You have to figure out where you're gonna jump because you're not like a super cat. You're a cat. You don't have a double jump. You don't have a jetpack that's gonna jet you up places. You are a cat. So you have to figure out how to traverse the environment as a cat to get to the location that you need to get to. And then there'll be puzzles with like talking to people, and you need to go and pick up stuff to open a door, for example. Or there'll be stealth scenes where you need to creep past an area. There'll be super fast chase scenes where you have to get away. So it's a bunch of different stuff. But I think what they're aiming for is, and it sounds really silly, but they're aiming for the game to feel like you're a cat. And there's just not that many games. There's really not, where they create the game around what an actual cat can do. So the whole game is crafted around that. That the areas that you can jump to are the way that cats would move around their environment, and that's how you're going to move around the environment. You can do all the cat stuff like knocking things over and all of that. You can go take a nap and it will pan back and give you a look at the environment, because the environments are beautiful.
It's a beautiful
They are
game.
really great. So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just trying to offer you this very specific experience that you just get to enjoy. I think it's described as a game that's just a joy to play. It's just a joyful game.
Nice.
The review's currently on Metacritic sitting at 84.
Okay.
So that is pretty good. Just for comparison of other like PlayStation games, kind of Bridge of Spirits was 81. I think Sifu was like 82 or 83, something like that. So
Cool.
yeah, got some good reviews there.
I'm trying to decide what I'm going to play it on. Do I load it up on the
So,
PS5? Have a living room
there's a little-
experience? Oh, is it a problem with that? Yeah.
Yeah, so now this was from Skill Up. I haven't read any other like performance things, but he said on PC it struggled a little bit to hit 60 frames consistently.
Which means the Steam
But
Deck
the
is probably not a
PS5
problem.
version was good.
Yeah.
Easy.
See, I'd like to play on the Steam Deck, but I also kind of like the idea of
Oh,
having
the
it
Steam
on a
Deck is-
big. Yeah.
Even worse.
Yeah, even worse than Steam Deck.
Yeah.
I guess that's my answer then. If I'm going to play it tomorrow, I should load it up on the PS5, and that way I can be a cat. And then Memes is probably going to want to play it too. Pass the controller back and forth, being cats.
And if you have PS Extra or PS Super Fancy Extra Plus,
Oh,
you get
right.
it for free.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it cheaper getting the service?
I don't know.
Probably. It's got to be.
It's probably cheaper. It's probably cheaper to just upgrade and get it real quick.
Yeah. But do I want to be? I need to look more into that PlayStation Server stuff. It's just
Yeah,
the 3-tier system confuses me. I know it
It
probably
is
shouldn't,
confusing.
Yeah,
but
it's too much, right?
it's
Yeah.
too much. I need either basic, where I get nothing but I can play online, or I need the one that gives me the stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't exactly. Like I'm confused by this maybe that's what it's for. It's to confuse me to buy the bigger one, the more expensive one.
Probably, right? Then
Yeah.
you just don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, right. Well, I'm looking
It
forward
is
to playing
getting
it.
a physical release, but not until September 20th.
Damn.
Long
Briar's
time.
Conundrum. We call
They
that
are
Briar's Conundrum
somehow.
around here.
They are, though, in fact, Briar, which you may be interested in this, releasing a backpack that you can put your cat in and a
Cat pack.
harness that you can put your cat in. It's
Oh,
a
nice.
stray / this company's cat accessories.
My cat would extremely not appreciate either of those.
You got to train them. Ease them in. Put a little catnip on there.
There is, on vet rides, there is a lot of yelling and scratching. When we have to put him in the box, like
Yeah.
the carrier box.
Mhm,
We have 2 cats. One is, who gives a shit? She's like, okay, whatever, let's go. The other one is, no, and I'm big. I can make this hurt for both of us.
Does it in any of the reviews explain what the backpack is that the cat has?
I think it just holds your little robot because your little robot bud like talks to the other robots. So that's what your robot does. I think it's a robot house.
Cat communication robot assistance device. Got it. I wonder if there's a lore on how the cat acquires it since it's a stray.
Yeah, there is.
There is? All right.
Yeah.
It's great.
Because it just starts as like a regular cat hanging out with buds and then falls into this lower world where it's post-cyberpunk. So it just seems like a game that I'm just gonna really enjoy moving around and looking at all of the details that they put into those environments because the environments really are beautiful and the way that the robots live also really intrigued me. So, yeah.
Imitating like human life.
Yeah.
Right.
The more I see about this game, the more I want to play it.
That physical release, Briar, it's going to hold you back.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's $39.99 to get the digital. It's $44.99 to get the I Am 8-Bit exclusive edition that comes with like postcards and a poster and I don't know, some kind of coaster or something. But there's also a 2 LP vinyl soundtrack.
I've heard the soundtrack is a banger too. I've heard
now
it.
We're talking.
I've heard. Mm-hmm.
Give me a vinyl.
Who buys a vinyl soundtrack for a game that you've never played? Like, who does that?
Someone with passion, Briar.
Yeah.
Passion for a game that you've never played?
Vinyls.
Hell yeah.
For vinyls and cats. There is a cat on the vinyl.
Cool.
It's purple and blue, some of our favorite colors, obviously.
Yep. Well, I'm looking forward to playing it. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's been getting really good reviews just across the board, so
Yeah.
it'll be a good time.
Cool.
I think I'm gonna order the physical edition and play it in September when it comes out.
And it's the first game from the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's by Blue 12 Studio.
Blue 12.
It'd be nice if I could play it on Steam Deck. It seems like a perfect game to play on Steam Deck.
I've heard you have to lower the resolution quite a bit, and then you still will have some frame hitches. I don't think it's
We'll
worth
do like a
ruining.
day one patch. Seems like an aggressive one though.
Steam Deck.
Aggressive hope.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with PS5. That way I can play it on the TV and not worry about
that makes sense.
issues. Yeah.
Definitely.
Did you guys see this? These 2 books of Dark Souls lore that this guy's making. This is not a official Dark Souls lore book. It's 2 volumes. There's like a huge fold out map. There's all sorts of illustrations, and it goes through all the lore of the Dark Souls games in book form. It looks pretty neat, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who's putting that out?
Give me a second. I got the article up and I'm looking for the name. Loki, a Souls scholar, Loki. In the Kotaku article, they describe him both a student of the series lore and a fluent Japanese speaker has been digging into the story and themes of the original Dark Souls for years. Now for the game's impending 10th anniversary, he's put everything he knows into 2 absolutely gorgeous books that are up for pre-order.
Wow.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah,
Yeah, the books look cool too.
The being able to be fluent in Japanese is pretty big for the lore because the item descriptions in Japanese sometimes tell you quite a bit more about the story than the English translations. So being able to have all of it, you obviously know a hell of a lot more.
Yeah.
Also, Miyazaki speaks Japanese, so anytime he's talking about the game, he's probably talking, in Japanese, right?
Yes.
I would imagine. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So this isn't official? Like, how is he actually selling it then if it's not official?
I'm not like a lawyer per se. I have seen Legal Eagles though, so I'm pretty much an expert. He doesn't actually say, it's not called like the Dark Souls book. It's called like Abyssal Archive. I don't know. I don't know how you do that.
Just
you can write books about stuff and not like
risk it until you get a cease and desist and be like, well,
as long as you don't use official Nintendo artwork, you should be okay.
I mean, if you had like the names of the bosses and the areas and all that, like I'd imagine.
Yeah.
And you're making.
Yeah, I don't know.
As soon as you start selling stuff and make money off of it, then they have to enforce their copyright or their trademark stuff.
I mean, yeah, I don't know how that works, to be honest with you.
I don't know. Maybe FromSoft will be like, hey, this is really cool. Let's go in partnership.
That'd be cool.
Maybe.
I mean, from the looks of the books, he doesn't need a partner. He's got a ton of original artwork in here.
Oh.
There's a video like kind of going through it, and it really looks quite impressive. Nice. I think I'm going to order this, honestly. This looks really good.
Cool.
One of the many Kickstarters that I've put money behind that got canceled. I probably am a curse. If I do this, I'm probably going to curse the whole project.
It's going to get hit with the cease and desist.
I did a Dreamcast book, like a Kickstarter for a book about the Dreamcast, Sega Dreamcast. I don't know, 2 years ago. Nothing. Not a word.
It's a shame.
It is a shame.
Yeah, it happens. It takes a long time to write a book, though. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, of course. Look at what's his name? Game of Thrones.
That guy's not writing any more books.
Yeah. Anything else in the gaming world? Any stuff coming up?
People keep wanting us to talk about Dinkum. We talked about Dinkum. We are aware that Dinkum exists.
I didn't play it yet.
I haven't played it yet. I'm interested in playing it. Absolutely.
Is it on Steam?
It's you can play it on the deck.
Oh shit! I can play Dinkum on my deck.
Yeah, Dinkum on the deck.
And it's overwhelmingly positive with 1,100 reviews. So
that seems fair.
Fair Dinkum, that's
pretty
good.
What kind of? Oh, is this like a farming game?
It's like Animal Crossing meets Minecraft Terraria in Australia.
Okay.
Yep,
all right.
That's exactly what it is. And then you can have your friends over to wrestle alligators and ride emus.
Yeah.
They got jet skis.
They do. And sharks.
Only $17.99.
I
already bought it. Add to cart. Does it run on Steam Deck?
It does. Yeah, people are saying it runs.
Yeah. A lot of stuff runs on Steam Deck that doesn't say it's going to run.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because they haven't fully, they don't want to put a label on there and then have it turn out to not be true, obviously. So I think they're really, cautious with giving it this is approved or playable until they know for sure. Lots of people have said, yeah, this is working on the deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be manually approved by humans before they can put the thing on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They unfortunately don't have a robot that's just playing every game on the deck and being like, yep.
Yeah, for now.
I wonder if it'll get popular enough where developers will start putting it in mind. Like Loop Hero, I was a little disappointed to see. Loop Hero, is that the name of the game?
Mancer.
No, that's not it. Loop Mancer, thank you. Clearly, they didn't take the Steam Deck into account when they were releasing that game. I mean, it's probably a small studio. Who knows? I have no idea how big that studio is.
Mm-hmm.
But it would have been nice if they had like a UI option for small displays.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I imagine as it gets more popular. Also, they're allowing other companies to release Steam Deck competition with the Steam OS, right? Valve is.
Yes.
So I'd
Yeah.
imagine it's only going to get more popular, this format, so people want to support
Yeah.
it more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Which I think that's really cool. Valve is like, hey,
It is very cool.
you know, Alienware, or whatever company, you want to make one of these? Go for it. Have at it. That's awesome.
Or make one that runs Windows like you've been doing, and then you can just load Steam OS on it as a user, like once you have it in your hands. You know?
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, there was some more reviews. Oh, sorry. Continue.
More
it
reviews.
only benefits Valve, right? The more people download Steam Store, the more money Valve makes.
Right.
I'm sorry, Watts. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say that there was another game that got some reviews and gameplay and stuff, and that is As Dusk Falls, which is Xbox Studios' interactive graphic novel. And people have been saying that it's pretty enjoyable. It says that it takes ideas from games like, of course, Walking Dead and 13 Sentinels.
Okay.
Which are both fantastic.
Yeah.
Really good voice acting, really good adventure the whole way through, and it's on Game Pass.
I'll have to check this out.
Yeah, I think I'll check it out. I do like those games, but it's like when the story is good, I like those games, the ones that are just pure story games.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you do feel more connected to it.
The story's got to be damn good, though, right?
Got to be damn good. Yeah.
You're almost not competing with games as much as you are like TV and movies.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Once you start making that kind of a game.
Yeah, and it does. Oh no, go ahead.
No, yeah, go. You talking about
it does. From the reviews that I've seen, they say that the decisions that you make in the game really do feel meaningful. It's not an illusion of choice, and you have more choice than games like Telltale. So I was like, that's interesting as well, where they've managed to find a way to really make your decisions matter and change the way that the story unfolds.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. A game similar, the Corey, you know, well, actually not similar, but like that came out recently. We didn't talk about it because at least I don't think we did, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I didn't play it. I don't know if any of us played it, but when they're fun, I really do like them. Like Until Dawn, I actually had a good time playing that game, but I haven't played Corey or the Corey, and I don't know. I might check this out As Dusk Falls, especially with it being on Game Pass.
It's on Game Pass. Yeah, I can always give it a try, and if it's not hitting right for you,
then you pass it.
And you pass it. But this was the game that we saw that it was like shot by shot frames of like what look like real people, but it kind of looks like a game. It's got a really interesting visual style.
It's like a painterly style, shot by shot.
Yeah.
Almost like they framed up the pacing of a movie or a show, and then you're choosing that, and then they added camera movement in there to make it feel like it's someone's holding a camera, looking at the shot.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a unique take on it.
Mm-hmm. I love it when games have incredible stories and they hit you hard. It's really unique experience to have that. Yeah. Cool. Anything else? This week or next week?
If there was a cool thing that Apex did that kind of came out of nowhere, where they worked with a bunch of people to make the Apex Legends be VTubers, and you can just download it for free and use it.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I thought, they didn't have to do that, and no one was expecting them to do that, but they're like, yeah, you can be these Apex Legends, and you can have them as a VTuber for you to use, a VTuber model.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. I always appreciate when like Riot did something recently where they released it's uncopywritten DMCA free music, like an hour and a half of music made by the Riot Games music people.
That's really cool, yeah.
They don't have to do that. But I really appreciate it when companies do that kind of stuff. Because it's especially if it's coming from like a AAA studio, it's normally pretty good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you get to use it for free.
Yeah, that's wicked helpful for YouTubers too when you can use the in-game music.
Yeah, they've put out 3 now that are about an hour and a half each.
Yeah.
So that's a good chunk of music that you have now that is really high quality, good music.
Very cool.
Oh, I have been continuing to play Vampire Survivors. That game is like crack. It's very upsetting. I have a new addiction. I can't put it down once I start playing it. You know, I talked about this a little bit last week. It's that game where you only control the movement of your character. You don't control how often he fires, and the weapons are kind of like RNG generated. It is amazing. It's almost like a cross between like a tower defense game and like Gauntlet. You know, it's really crazy, and everything is kind of like Castlevania inspired as far as art and like weapons go. God damn, it looks terrible. It plays awesome. It's so good on Steam Deck too. It's just like every time I'm like I'll just play one game, and then like 4 hours later I'm like, where is my Milwaukee battery?
That's great.
Yeah.
I was going to say one thing I want to mention is Digital Extremes announced their next game, Soulframe.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, Soulframe. I forgot about that.
I mean, they've been developing Warframe since like 2010 or earlier.
Yeah, this is their next game. Soulframe.
Yeah, they're actually making another game.
Interesting.
Yeah. So they say, whereas Warframe is like a fast-paced shooter, sci-fi kind of thing, Soulframe is a fantasy MMO with an emphasis on melee combat, and it's a lot more heavier and deliberate.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Soul tie-in maybe a little bit deliberate too, as to how it's gonna play.
Wonder, right? Soulframe,
maybe.
They basically they showed like a cinematic trailer, right? And then leaving details up in the air for people to kind of guess what it's going to be and all that. From what I've played in Warframe, melee can be really fun in Warframe. So them making a melee focused game makes me excited to see where that's going to go. It's also free to play too. It is,
it definitely interests me for sure. They said that their inspiration for the world comes from things like Princess Mononoke and The Never Ending Story, which are 2 really fantastic worlds. And the world, they describe it as the world is a little angry about what's being done to it, meaning the grounds underneath tend to shift throughout the day, leading to procedurally generated areas set in places like caves.
Wow.
So they have some procedurally generated stuff as well. They have a large open world hub serving as the overworld. And it says they want to have this game have a much greater focus on exploration. So he said he's chasing the short session but high immersion thing where you sign off and come out of your yurt and you are where you last signed off. But the world feels like it's been going on without you.
Got it. Interesting. Yeah.
This looks really interesting.
Yeah.
Right?
They've they've been, I guess, developing and understanding some of this open world tech with their recent releases. And they've obviously been reiterating and refining it and all that. So I'm going to be very curious to see how this turns out.
Yeah, absolutely. I am very interested.
Yeah.
I will be playing whenever I can.
Do they have a time frame that we should expect to release, or is this like way out there?
Don't think there's been a time frame.
Yeah, my guess is
this doesn't look like there's any gameplay in this trailer. It's all just like a cinematic kind of thing, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's I'm guessing 2-3 years minimum before we maybe get like the first. They're probably going to do it like Warframe, where they had pieces where you're experiencing this, and then they expand it and expand this, expand that, and just develop more and more over time. Which I'm cool with that too. It worked out for Warframe.
Yeah. Man, what a turnaround that game had.
Right? Yeah. So if they're if they're looking to talk about it now, I'd imagine probably a 2-3 year time frame. Maybe earlier. I don't know. Cool.
Yeah, I'm especially with like Elden Ring coming out recently and that being an open world Souls game, if they're trying to do open world and maybe they're not doing Souls combat specifically, but it's kind of inspired by that side of games instead of, the fast-paced stuff, then maybe they've took a bunch away from Elden Ring as well that they can
Yeah, maybe.
use.
Chill Game Theorist in chat said first piece will be available within a year, they say. So
Oh,
apparently sooner than later.
oh.
Yeah.
Mm.
Just looking at that trailer, it gets me I'm definitely excited. Looks like my kind of jam.
I hope it feels fluid.
Yeah.
Because that's the only thing, like, weapon combat in Warframe has, if you're not, like, into the super twitchy type of feel, it can kind of, it can feel a bit stiff at times. So I hope it feels really fluid and refined to make it just, it's like the Destiny approach. If the fundamental aspects of shooting something is good and fun, then the whole experience is painted with feeling like you're excited to play it. So if the melee combat is fluid, then it's going to be good.
It's a Ghost of Tsushima effect, right? I was like, it just felt so fucking good.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I hope they've taken from all these open world games that are doing similar stuff and refining it to be good like that.
That would be great. All right. Well,
Very
I
exciting.
think that is that the episode?
I think
we
so.
nail it?
Yeah, I think we did. We're going to be cats tomorrow. I'm going to be a cat.
Cat time.
I'm going to be a
Straight
cat in
up.
September.
So it says the Briar Conundrum. Game's coming out, but the physical release is months away. No.
It's so weird. That's not a thing that's ever been a thing in gaming until like recently. Like, oh, you can buy the digital one now, but you got to wait 2 months for the physical.
It's because things are shifting more to digital. More and more.
As they hate us. They want us to buy the digital.
It's always the indie games. Like they just don't. They can't release the physical right away.
Yeah, it's manufacturing costs. They don't have the infrastructure in place to suddenly pump out 10,000 copies to go put in stores. Yeah. Well, that is episode 146 of SideQuest. Thank you very much for tuning in and hanging out. And we appreciate all the support. Shout out to our Patreon members and our Twitch subs for supporting the shows on the feed. Thanks for watching.
Yeah. Thanks for being here. Go be a cat.
Hanging out. Yeah. We'll see you next week.
Cat.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.